What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the eveRide channel. Thank you so much for checking in with me today. This is Thanksgiving. If you're watching it day one, happy Thanksgiving and happy holidays coming up. I'm just going to throw it out there. I was in behavioral med for the last 5 days. Boom. I know, kind of a crazy thing, but I want to talk a little bit about it. I'll talk about it in some videos in the future. But mainly, I want to talk about it because it was a very positive experience and it saved my life. And hopefully, maybe somebody who watches this weird video about some random guy going to, you know, what people call the psych ward, the loony bin, mental hospital, whatever. Hopefully that will save their lives. I want to tell you a few little things, okay? I've tried making this video about 6 times already, and I can't get it under 40 minutes. So I'm trying hard to abbreviate. Last month I broke my arm, and when I broke my arm, like you do when you get hurt in a motorcycle accident, you think, okay, can I ride to the ER? Do I need to call a helicopter? Do I need to call a search and rescue? How do I get there, right? No matter how you do it, you need to get to the ER, right? You go to the emergency room and they help you get patched up. They give you some medicine, they tell you what to do to handle it, and you get patched up. All right, now imagine this. Imagine that there was a virus, okay? A virus that turned you into a zombie. This is getting weird, post-apocalyptic. A virus that turned you into a zombie, and it's in all of us. None of us are immune to it. It's in all of us, and it's dormant, okay? And for some people, not all, occasionally this virus comes up, and it will kill you within 1 day, sometimes within 10 minutes, sometimes within 1 minute, all right? And this virus is incurable. You're dead once it gets you. It's life and death. But if you can get to a hospital within time, they can help you. And it takes 5 or 10, even 3 or 4 or 5 days, right? And then you're better, but the virus is still there. It could still come back. But to save yourself again, you need to go to the hospital. None of us are immune from life's hardships. None of us are immune from depression, anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder, schizophrenia. I don't have the last one, but the others I do. But I met people while I was there who, some of these people were world-famous architects, world-famous photographers, and schizophrenia and drug use had wiped it all away from them. But they still chose to hope and get better and try to keep moving on. I'm telling you this right off the heels of coming out of that place. It was such a positive and transformative experience. There were hard parts when I went through the door to actually be checked in for what I knew would be a week or so. I was sweating through my clothes. I was having a panic attack. I wished I was dead. It didn't take long. They really helped me. The doctors, the nurses, even the other people who were there were so encouraging. And it saved my life. We would do it for a virus. We would do it for a broken arm. When we're hurting up here, why is there a falter? Why do we stop? Why does it happen? Why do people end their lives? I'm here to tell you this. It can be a hard time of year. I'm lucky to have a really great family who I want to be with, and good family relationships. But if you imagine it like, imagine back when you were single and it was Valentine's Day and you're like, man, this holiday is the worst. For some people, the holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, it can be like that. Except for instead of not having a girlfriend or boyfriend, it can feel, I don't have a family. I don't have loved ones. And it can be a hard time. It was full when I was there. This is a hard time of year. And so I wanted to put this out as soon as I possibly could. Don't give up. Go get help. All right? While I was there, and I have some hilarious stories about when I was there, and I have, it really was like a cruise, you guys. I thought it was going to be something. When I went in, I thought, this is my punishment for being so, me. I thought, this is my punishment. I'm going to go to this prison. It wasn't like a prison. It was like a cruise. The food was amazing. The service was amazing. Everybody was so kind. It was one of the best experiences of my life. It felt, this may not get me any business, but it felt like a rally here. You're with some eclectic people. But you get to know them and you get to love them, and I made really good friends there. They have therapy 2 or 3 times a day, and you meet with psychiatrists and psychologists, some of the best doctors I've ever worked with in my life. They talked with me for hours and really encouraged me. In fact, I've applied. They've encouraged me so much, and they inspired me so much. Dr. Rasmussen, Dr. McKean, and Dr. Vasquez. I started applying to get my doctorate last night. I already have a master's. I figured, hey, I want to help people like these guys did. So I started applying for my doctorate at local schools. It's kind of weird because it's like, here I am coming right out of the psych ward and hit the ground running. But that's what I want to do. I miss being in the mental health field. And don't worry, the rallies aren't going anywhere. I'm actually planning on doing therapy sessions, and then we'll go on rides. And then your insurance will pay for it. So, while I was there, one of the therapists read a poem during, he was one of the doctors that read a poem during a group therapy session. And everybody else was just kind of listening to this. They probably heard it before. Maybe you've heard it before. But to me, I was bawling. Hopefully I can make it through, but I want to read it to you now. So let me get my phone out. I've got it ready. Sorry, isn't this angle the best angle ever for anybody? All right, let me put it back in my other hand and then try to do this. My arm is still broken. I'll tell you why I went there in a future video, and I'll tell you all the stories. It's actually, it should be a really entertaining series if YouTube shares it with anybody. Anytime I share mental health stuff on YouTube, they shut down my channel pretty much. They don't send the notifications to anybody because when I post about mental health, they cut off advertising, and when they cut off advertising, they cut off views because they want that money. All right, let's do this. This is called The Race, and it is by, I'll tell you at the end because that's where it's at. I don't want to spend time scrolling. All right. Whenever I start to hang my head in front of failure's face, my downward fall is broken by the memory of a race. A children's race. Young boys, young men, how I remember well. Excitement, sure, but also fear. It wasn't hard to tell. They all lined up, so full of hope, each thought to win that race, or tie for first, or if not that, at least take second place. Their parents watched from off the side, each cheering for their son. Each boy hoped to show his folks that he would be the one. The whistle blew, and off they flew like chariots of fire. To win, to be the hero there, was each young boy's desire. One boy in particular, whose dad was in the crowd, was running in the lead and thought, my dad will be so proud. But as he speeded down the field and crossed a shallow dip, the little boy who thought he'd win lost his step and slipped. Trying hard to catch himself, his arms flew every place, and amidst the laughter of the crowd, he fell flat on his face. As he fell, his hope fell too. He couldn't win it now. Humiliated, he just wished to disappear somehow. But as he fell, his dad stood up and showed his anxious face, which to the boy so clearly said, "Get up and win that race." He quickly rose, no damage done, behind a bit, that's all. He ran with all his might and might to make up for his fall. So anxious to restore himself, to catch up and to win, his mind went faster than his legs. He slipped and fell again. He wished that he had quit before, with only one disgrace. I'm hopeless as a runner now. I shouldn't try to race. But through the laughing crowd, he searched and found his father's face, with a steady look that said again, "Get up and win the race." So he jumped up to try again, 10 yards behind the last. If I'm to gain those yards, he thought, I've got to run real fast. Exceeding everything he had, he regained 8, then 10, but trying hard to catch the lead, he slipped and fell again. Defeat, he lay there silently, a tear dropped from his eye. There's no sense running anymore. 3 strikes, I'm out, why try? I've lost, so what's the use, he thought. I'll live with my disgrace. But then he thought about his dad, who'd soon he'd have to face. Get up, an echo sounded low. You haven't lost it all, for all you have to do to win is rise each time you fall. Get up, the echo urged him on. Get up and take your place. You were not meant for failure here. Get up and win the race. So up he rose once more, refusing to forfeit, and he resolved that win or lose, at least he wouldn't quit. So far behind the others now, the most he'd ever been, still he gave it all he had and ran like he could win. 3 times he'd fallen stumbling, 3 times he rose again. Too far behind to hope to win, he still ran to the end. They cheered another boy who crossed the line and won first place. Head high and proud and happy, no falling, no disgrace. But when the fallen youngster crossed the line in last place, the crowd gave him the greater cheer for finishing the race. And even though he came in last, with head bowed low, unproud, you would have thought he'd won the race to listen to that crowd. And to his dad, he sadly said, I didn't do so well. To me, you won, his father said. You rose each time you fell. And when things seem dark and bleak and difficult to face, the memory of that little boy helps me in my own race. For all of life is like that race, with ups and downs and all we have to do to win is rise each time we fall. And when depression and despair shouts loudly in my face, another voice within me says, get up and win the race. That's by Dr. D.H. Groberg. It's pretty rad, isn't it? You guys, right now, I'm at a point in my life where I'm on my face. I do need some help. Part of the reason why I felt like it was appropriate to go in, my arm is broken still. It's not going to be better for a long time. I was hopeless about that. I was worried about the soft tissue damage and the recovery time. That was a big part of this despair that I felt on Friday. We're trying to do our part here. We have some cars that we're selling. I'm selling my motorcycles, all except for the DRZ, the GPX, and the Cove. If we have to, we'll sell the Cove. But we've got the KTM 500. That's awesome. And we've got a KTM 300. And perhaps the Cove if that needs to go as well. So we are trying, you guys. But I do need your help, okay? I hate saying this. This is humiliating, but There's been people who have helped already because of my arm, and I'm so grateful for you. I'm not asking for just direct financial support. I don't want anybody to feel like they need to go and be a producer. I feel like you need to up my game before I ask people to do that again. But right now is a shopping season that a lot of people buy a lot of things. You might be buying some equipment for yourself, motorcycle equipment. Rocky Mountain's having some crazy awesome sales. Obviously tomorrow's Black Friday. Amazon's going to have some sales. I'm not asking for direct donations or anything, but if you could find 15 seconds to add my website, eveRide ADV, if you could find 15 seconds to add that to your favorites bar and just use that to shop this holiday season, that would help me immensely. And it doesn't cost you anything extra. It's just 15 seconds of your time, and it would help me so much. Thank you so much for listening, you guys. And once again, the message of this video isn't, oh, help me. It's there's hope, okay? Get up and win the race. Don't quit, no matter how many times you fall. Be like that lady that I met who, despite her fame and her prestige, fell many times and is still trying, still fighting to stay alive. This is a hard time of year for people, remember that, and please be sweet to those that you love, and maybe make a phone call that you've needed to make. Maybe say hello to somebody who looks down. Just be a good human. You never know the difference you can make. There was a girl in there with me, a little girl with curly hair, and every time I walked by her, she would do this, and she would call me the B word. And I would ask her every time, are you doing okay? Are you doing better? Bitch, right? And I would say, you know, it gets better. It gets better. Bitch. And on my last day, she hugged me, and she said, it gets better. It gets better, guys. Go get some help if you need it, okay? This is a crazy video to make. I don't know how long it is, but I've got to get one of these up. I love you guys. Thank you for staying for this video, and I hope it helps you or somebody that you love. Thank you so much for watching and for being part of this journey for me. I'm not ashamed to say that I went in. I'm proud. I'm proud that I got in there and got the help that I need. And I don't regret it one bit, and there is no stigma left for me. People who need help need help. All it is a virus. Turns us into a zombie, makes us want to do things that we would never want to do. I love you guys. Thanks. Much love. eveRide out.